There's this some kind of a funkiness which defines Mississippi, which I don't think we can ever quite get Mississippi too shiny and polished, right? The funk continues to come through, and that's one of the things I think that when people come down here that it looks different, that things are not necessarily always in the best order down here. But that's a quality. I mean, driving through the Delta, seeing, not to romanticize poverty or anything like that, but there is this sort of overall funkiness in Mississippi, which people find to be pretty exotic. And the positive side of that funkiness, I think, is that which is expressed through musicians.
Blues is the original American art form from humble roots. It has shaken souls from Memphis to Chicago and Finland to Japan.
Have you ever noticed in every town, in every state, have a side of town that everything take place?
My name is Grady Champion, and I want to take you back to where the blues began and where the blues are most definitely still alive. I want to take you to the Blues Underground.
Everything's going down on the south side of town. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Grady Chum with Blues Underground here at Underground 119, live on the stage from Wyoming young bluesman Taylor Scott. Look out, y'all.
That people don't understand, but I only got one life, I'm gonna live it while I can. Music moves, spirit moves, and makes you feel alright. Sky's blue, the ocean too, and the sun is shining bright when the spirit moves you. When the spirit moves you. When the spirit moves you. When the spirit moves. Yeah. Every night I dream that I can lift my hands and fly, and I know that one day I will soar into the sky. But until that day does come, my feet are on the ground, and I play my music so you know I'm still around. When the spirit moves you. 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 Oh yeah, baby.
It's Grady Chum with Blues Underground, here with another talented musician, Mr. Taylor Scott.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Young man playing the blues. Tell me, son, what it's like being so young, playing the blues, where they think you have to be kind of like an older cat?
Man, I think, I've been playing blues music since I was like about 13, 14. And so at some point, like when you're a younger kid, people kind of think it's cute and it's like a novelty, and it doesn't matter if you're really good or not. So people will come watch you and they'll be like, oh, that's nice, kids are playing blues. But then you hit a certain age where you start to take yourself a little more seriously, not too seriously, but and then that's when people start saying stuff that's kind of like, man, I don't think that's really accurate as to what the blues is about, as far as people trying to compare your experiences with somebody else's, instead of it just being about telling your own story. People try to make it something else, and like they get to decide what your story is for you and whether or not you're worthy to sing and play blues, which is to me, that really doesn't have anything to do with blues. So I just try to let it roll off my shoulder most of the time.
Spirit moves you. When the spirit moves you. Oh yeah, when the spirit moves you. When the spirit moves you. When the spirit moves you. No, yeah, yeah, yeah. When the spirit moves you. Let it move, let it move, let it move. Oh, moves you. Let the spirit move you, yeah. When the spirit moves you, oh yeah.
If I were gonna ask, if I walk into you walking into a club and I might say, where you from?
Well, originally I'm from St. Louis.
Where you living?
I grew up in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And
Well, you tell me this. How do you learn to play the blues in Wyoming?
people ask me that all the time, and then I just ask them, have you ever been to Wyoming, first of all? Seriously, because people will be like, how can you get the blues or understand the blues from Wyoming? I'm like, have you been there? You know, have you ever had to live there for a winter? It's a different kind of blues, but it's still there.
Still the blues.
And to me, you know, there wasn't a whole lot of local music going on there. I mean, that's the honest truth. The stereotype holds up. In Cheyenne, Wyoming, there's not a bunch of blues bands playing in every club. There's not really any clubs. But, you know, I fell in love when I was a kid. I fell in love with rock and roll music. And then it didn't take long for me to learn where that came from, you know, because you listen to the players you like and then you want to find out who did they listen to. That's and, right. You know, that's kind of what I did. And then I found blues music. You know, my first blues show was B.B. King, you know, and my dad took me to see him when I was 13. And I had already been playing guitar for a few years, but seeing B.B. when I was 13 kind of set things in motion for me as far as roots music.
Well, you know that I done watch you play. I watch you make it to the finals in the IBC. Mm-hmm. And I can hear those different influences like T-Bone Walker. A lot of youngsters don't really know a T-Bone Walker.
Yeah, I think it's really important to have enough respect for your genre of music, whatever it is. I don't care if it's blues or not, but whatever it is, to go back and really study and learn where it came from. There's a lot of people, and I'm not trying to dog on anybody, but there's a lot of people who will just get the very top layer of blues, you know. And there's some great stuff at the top, you know, but they'll just skim that little bit off the top and then ride that little bit of knowledge and influence, you know, throughout their whole career or whatever it is. But for me, it started there, and then I love the deeper blues and artists that, you know, you know, your average Joe who isn't really a big blues fan or blues musician might not know, but I feel like that's important to know. Like I said a second ago, where does the music come from? You know what I mean? And I think if you can reach as far back as you can, you have a much greater understanding for it, and you can play it better.
You know that I want you. You know I need you real bad. You know this love I have for you is driving me mad, yeah. You got me cuckoo, baby. Yeah, you got me cuckoo in my head. You got me cuckoo, baby. I wish I were dead. Let's drop it real low. Hey.
Well, you know, the blues industry was not really that healthy for many years. You know, that the audience just isn't really that big, relatively speaking. And so a lot of the artists who, you know, not just in the blues, but or in any genre really, you know, in order to survive, now artists have to become, you know, the merchandiser. They may have to become their own producer, graphic designer, website designer, you know, communicator. You know, so that's really what it takes to survive and to thrive. You know, you have to be involved, not just performing, but also working in a variety of capacities, you know, behind the scenes, you know, because people aren't going to do it for you anymore. I mean, one of the great things about the internet is, you can get your music out to everyone, but there's also an incredible amount of competition. There's, you have to capture people's attention.
All around me, pushing from every side. And if you don't come and get me, my heart will die. You got me cuckoo, baby. You got me cuckoo in my head. You got me cuckoo, baby. Wish I were dead. You got me cuckoo, baby. You got me cuckoo, baby. I say, yeah, Lord, you got me cuckoo, baby. In my Thank you. When I grow old and my days start to fall, I may not have much, or I just might have it all. And every night I'll sit on my old porch swing. I'll pick up an old guitar and I'll begin to sing. I'll sing about the old days, clear roads and blue skies, when I didn't know where I was going, but I knew the reason why. And I'll smile to myself as the thoughts come and go, like the words to a song or an old TV show. I'll sing about now. I'll sing about now. About now. Later on down the line, I'll call up all my old friends, get together and talk about this, that, remember when. And as the night goes late, I pick up my old guitar. We'll all sing about the good times and how we came so far. We'll sing about now. We'll sing about now. lost our minds. I hope we still pick up the phone and call from time to time. 'Cause I'll be so glad when the phone starts to ring. 'Cause you know that if we can still talk, we can damn sure still sing. We'll sing about now. We'll sing about now. We'll sing about now. We'll sing about now. One more time, y'all. One more time. We'll sing about now. Sing about now. Sing about now. Sing about
What it was like when your mom come
Thank
to you
you.
and say, well, Taylor, are you ready for college?
You know, I think at this point, you know, in our country or our society or whatever, it's very expected for, there's a certain path you're supposed to take. You know, as a kid, you go through school, get up through high school, graduate, and then you go to college, and that's just what you're expected to do. And that's right for a lot of people, but it's not right for everybody. And at first, when I was a kid, I was like, man, I want to be a rock star, you know, and it was that pipe dream thing. But then it got a little more real when I started playing professionally, you know, and actually making a little bit of money. And I was able to stop mowing lawns as a kid and make some money off music. And that was when I was just a teenager. So I thought, you know, it became a little more real to me. And that's when I was about 15, and I had the talk with my parents about that, you know, I'm not planning on going to college, at least not right away. That's not something I want to do right now. I think what's best for me is to further my career. Like I said a minute ago, we get into this system where everybody's supposed to be kind of in this cookie cutter system of we have the same path, but everybody kind of has a different path. So the education I'm getting by being on the road and recording, and I mean, just today with you, I was in Malico Records recording, man. You know, that's an education. And the cool thing is, I'm not making, you know, some crazy amount of money yet. It's early in my career, but I'm not in some huge debt, you know, for the education I'm getting, which is cool. It's not an easy thing to do, but I'm getting an education doing what I'm doing. It's just maybe look a little different than college, you know what I mean? But, well, I'll just say it took them a little while to warm up to the idea, but they sure did, you know, and once they realized and saw the goals and the reality, you know, and that it wasn't just a pie in the sky kind of thing, they've been super supportive, and, you know, I know it's the right decision for me, so I'm excited about that, and they've been cool.
Tell me about traveling to Europe. What it was like your first time going to Europe, let's say, with Otis Taylor.
Yeah, it was really exciting. I went to Europe with Otis this past fall, and we were there for about a month or 3 weeks to a month, and we were in France and Switzerland. And it was so cool being 20 years old and getting paid to travel overseas, and everybody at home is like, oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't have the money and everything like that. But for me, it's our job, you know, it's the same for you. It's like, so that experience, man, to go and learn about a new culture and share your culture with them, that's what I tell people is when I got back, people were like, oh, did you see this, did you do that? And I kind of tell them, like, we're not over there being tourists. We're over there sharing our culture with them, and they're in return sharing theirs with us, you know, because it's not something they get to see every day or that we get to see every day. So for us to go over there and do that, they get really excited. You know, the French people, the people in Switzerland, and soon I'll be going back to some more countries. But it's just cool sharing your culture and making money doing that, you know.
Found me a girl to love me like you do, to love me like you do.
one time. Young bluesman in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Taylor Scott. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did anybody pour water on this boy? You look like you're wet. Give me a towel to dry him off. Oh my goodness. That is what we've been talking about. This is the blues, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up once again for Taylor Scott, Wyoming.
Blues Underground with Grady Champion. We'll be right back.
A lot of the things I've been doing are, trying to bring blues knowledge to new audiences. So, for instance, for the Mississippi Arts Commission, I wrote a curriculum for the schools, and hopefully, we can try to get more information about blues to the young people.
Was the Southern Pacific and the Santa Fe. Welcome to Blues Underground here at Underground 119 in Jackson, Mississippi, bring you the best of blues around the world, ladies and gentlemen. And here from Lexington, Mississippi, put your hands together for the Bluesman. Look out!
Domain. Late at night, make my creep. That's when I heard old floor squeak. I turned around, he was standing there. Couldn't even throw my hands in the air. I said, mister, if you let me go, you or your wife won't see me no more. Took me to the doctor, shot full of hole. Nurse cried, say that boy's so. I am backdoor man. Hey, come y'all, be real quiet. Say what? Baby, I don't love you no more. I got to get out of here. Late at night, make my creep. That's when I heard old floor squeak. I turned around, he was standing there. Couldn't even throw my hands in the air. I said, mister, if you let me go, you or your wife won't see me no more. Took me to the doctor, shot full of hole. Nurse cried, say that boy's old. I am backdoor man. I am now backdoor man. I am backdoor man. I am backdoor man. Y'all, this is how I creep at night now. Watch it. Listen to the blues, man.
This is Grady Champion with Blues Underground here at the Underground 119 with one of our veterans of the blues. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bluesman. How you doing, Bluesman?
Oh, fine. And you?
Doing pretty good.
That's good.
I understand you a blues man from Lexington, Mississippi.
That's right. That's
And they
right.
tell me you had a brother. Y'all used to get together and play the blues. And tell me a little bit about you and your brother playing the blues growing up.
Growing up, we was doing a lot of gospel, but on the weekend, like on a Thursday night, they had a big opening at the village, and we used to sneak the instruments out the house and go down to the club and play. And we used to get back about 2 o'clock in the morning and sneak them back in the house before Mom wake up. Cause Mom didn't play that.
Didn't play that. So Mom said, you doing no blues, you doing the devil
That's
music.
right. That's what they was calling the devil music back then.
But there's a good soul for music.
Ain't it?
Look out. So I tell you, blues man, being from Mississippi and all the history that we have about the blues in Mississippi. See, I done seen you play before. Man, you're unbelievable with that acoustic guitar. You know, I love it. But, you know, from before you made it, traveling that road to the blues, tell me a little bit about your gospel career. I just heard you speak of gospel.
Yeah, we started it back probably in the early 70s when I first started. I started out playing drums and branched off to a little bass guitar and left there and went to lead guitar, and then we started a gospel group. My dad and them was singing, my mom, they was singing, and she passed away. Then me and my sister and brother got together and became a group called the Williams Singers.
The Williams Singers.
And we recorded 2 albums on the Williams Singer side. And then I stayed there for like 26 years with the Williams Singers and left there and got with my kids. Started a group called the One Way Gospel Singers.
One Way Gospel Singers.
And they grew up, and then I come with my other younger kids, and we was so many kids in my group, they started calling us Pop and Them Chillin'.
Pop and Them Chillin'.
Them
Boy, that
Chillin'.
sounds like some Lexington, Mississippi to me. Look out there.
And we recorded like 2 albums in that field. And then those kids grew up and went off to college, and so it gave me an opportunity to get out there and further my career on what I really wanted to do, and that was play the blues and sing.
Play the blues. Blues, they always tell, I said in every show I done been on, blues is a feeling type music.
Sure is.
My baby left me, moved to Tennessee. Oh, my baby left me, y'all, moved to Tennessee. Well, she ain't coming back now, and it's worrying me. This is what I'm gonna do, y'all. Gonna buy me a ticket so I can see now. So I can see. Oh, buy me a ticket now. I'm going to Tennessee.
So you tell me, how the blues make you feel? You know, when you're there and you got the audiences just locked into blues, man.
Well, it makes me feel good because the lyrics and the notes that I play, I look out amongst the audience and I see that they're responding heavily towards the music, and this just gives me a thrill, you know. I know I'm doing something right.
Well, you know, sir, what I've heard, you keep your family heavily involved into your music. Because I always tell people now, blues is a family.
That's right.
We're a family. I don't care what type of blues we play. You know, and talking to you when I met your son, working hard for daddy, looking out dad. I tell you, talk to that youngster, he got daddy's back. So how I feel having your son involved in your career?
I'm gonna tell you, that's the most proud thing in my life right now, to have my son by my side.
That's all right. Proud papa playing the blues.
I know he got my back.
He got your back.
Got my back.
Bring her home with me. I gotta buy my baby. She stood in Tennessee. Gotta find my baby and bring her home with me. I gotta find my baby, bring her home. She stood in Tennessee.
I'm sitting in my house watching my TV, and I see you on TV with Richard Swartz singing about these Correct blues. How did it feel getting that opportunity to be the lead man on that commercial, with your music?
Yeah. Well, it makes me feel good, that I'm being recognized, and about the grace of God. See, that's one thing. Don't put him out the picture, because
we can't do it.
Because it's about the grace of God. Because when he called me, I said, me out of all the blues players around the world, he called McKinney Williams, the Bluesman, and it just does something to me when he called me, and I went and we did this, and I thank God for it. It's part of my career. It helped boost me up a little bit, and people recognize me, and every time they see me, there go the Correct Blues, man.
Yeah, the Correct Blues, man.
I said, hey baby, why you going with that gun in your hand? Hey baby, now, why you going with that gun in your hand? She said, I'm going to the club, shoot my no good man. Woo! Hey baby, why you going with that gun in your hand? Hey baby, now, why you going with that gun in your hand? She said, I'm going to the club, shoot my no good man. She said, let me tell you what he did.
Well, he went out last night, stayed out all night long. Come home in the morning with his drawers on wrong. Yeah, baby. Ah. Where you gonna get done in your hand? She said, I'm going to the club, shoot my no good man.
Well, Bluesman, you know, we got Robert Johns from Hazelhurst, Mississippi. We got Muddy Waters from Rolling Fork, Willie Dixon from Vicksburg, and Bluesman from Lexington, Mississippi. Now, let's say somewhere around the world, we got people that had never been to Lexington, Mississippi. What could you tell them about Lexington, Mississippi, and what it had to do with you being the blues musician you are today?
Well, it's, to me, when I was growing up, I thought that was the birthplace of the blues. I'm telling you, 'cause, I don't know whether you ever heard and talk of Lonnie Pitcher. He was one of the world's greatest guitar players. I used to watch him, but I couldn't play it around my mom. You know, I used to just watch it, and then my style of playing, I learned it through my dad. 'Cause back then he played electric guitar, but he did acoustic style with it. And he was able to play in Memphis on the stage with the staple singers. You know, and played. They went off every year. They went to Chicago to the packing house.
Oh, they had to do the packing house in Chicago.
Yeah.
Packing the blues in the packing house.
Yeah, Lexington, it does, right now, it does a lot for me. You know, I'm trying to keep the name of the blues alive and let them know the home base. I'm gonna say it is Lexington.
There you go.
'Cause
Well,
I'm bringing it to them, you know, and I'm gonna keep the tradition of blues alive.
My goodness. Bluesman, welcome to Blues on the Ground. But I'm gonna keep that no good man stuff to myself. See, I ain't tell you, Bluesman. I usually check my drawers before I leave.
I hear you.
Boy, that was a bad one.
Thank you.
I want to thank you for coming spending time with us. We get to show the world what Lexington, Mississippi have to offer. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bluesman from Lexington, Mississippi. Let's hear it. And my name is Grady Champion with Blues Underground here at the Underground 119 here in Jackson, Mississippi. Till next time. Have you ever noticed in every town, in every state, have a side of town that everything takes place?
My name is Grady Champion, and I want to take you back to where the blues began and where the blues are most definitely still alive. I want to take you to the Blues Underground.
Everything's going down on the south side of town.
This is Grady Champion with Blues Underground and Underground 119 with the Southern Comfort Brass Band. How you guys doing today?
It's a sure.
Driven quite a few miles too on that road.
And then on the road,
Yeah, man.
going up to Virginia. I tell you, traveling around with the blues is unbelievable.
It's a blessing.